Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Garden a Little. My name is Seema and I have my helper here, Agatha, helping me clean up the garden one bed at a time and plant some things. So far I have cleaned up this bed alone and she ended up having about 2 rocks in her mouth. So I'm gonna stop with cleaning up the beds and I'm actually gonna plant some things. I have been having this in my junk kitchen drawer for a while. It's a flower rocket. It's a bunch of flower seeds and you just put them in a ground. So I like flowers with my garden, with my vegetables. Yep. Okay, that was a piece of grass. Everybody's fine. So that's planted in that corner there. Here is something super cool. I grew radishes about 2 years ago in my garden, right in that bed. They flowered and got pods. I saved those pods and then I planted the radishes again. And again, I saved the pods. This is the second generation and I am planting it again. The pods that form on top of radishes look like this. And inside the pods are seeds. Now you can break them. There are the seeds right there. And you can plant the seeds alone. However, what I found is that even if you plant this whole pod, the seeds will come up. There are different amounts of seeds per pod. I found that it's anywhere between like 4 and 8 in each pod. So I'm gonna just plant the pods kind of sporadically in this row and watch them grow. Now, if you're doing this with seeds, you want to plant kind of dense because they're small seeds and they don't mind being a little bit crowded together. But with pods, because there's already a couple of seeds in each pod, as you saw, I did it very sparingly. I'm just gonna pat that down. You wanna make sure that you are planting it successionally because these will come up. Unless you wanna eat 30 radishes at once, I don't suggest you plant everything at once. Speaking of radishes, one time I did plant a whole bunch of them and I've tried roasting them. People substitute like them as potatoes, pickling them, just eating them raw in salads and stuff. And my favorite way so far that I found preserving radishes is pickling them. So good. Another thing that I want to plant is dill. Dill is something that we eat all the time and I did not plant enough of it last year or at all actually. So we missed it. We missed the dill. And I have 2 different kinds. Again, I have this herb rocket dill and I have my saved seeds dill from, I don't know, 2 years ago because I didn't plant it last year. So I'm gonna plant these 2 different types of dill in 2 different places and I don't just want to watch how they do because this is, I don't know how reliable that is, and then this is kind of a couple of years old, so I want to see which one's more viable out of 2 unlikely options, which one will survive basically. Since we planted that flower bomb or rocket over there, I'm gonna plant this dill one over here. I don't have my stand with me, so you'll have to watch me do this one-handed, but it's basically a little packet that looks like this. And I suppose you can roll it out, but the instructions say you're supposed to just plant it like that. Like, of course, look how big that looks on the picture. And this is how it is. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to just plant it right in there. I am digging around this bed and I was trying to spread the chicken manure in here. There are ants in here, and that is my least favorite pest to deal with, honestly. Ants are so annoying. Also, I don't have my shovel with me. I actually was looking for one. I actually tried, right? But couldn't find one. They just keep disappearing. All right, we're putting this in. And dill is small seeds, so it's gonna be молодец. So it's gonna be okay with not being planted way too deep in there. Alrighty, and I'm going to put this box in here just so I know what I planted here. Now these dill seeds, I want to plant in an area where my usual dill was, which is this herb area here. If you remember, I got parsley here, chives. This was oregano and it survived. It's gonna come back. It kind of was very cold, but it will come back. And then thyme here. So thyme, oregano, dill is usually here, so I'm gonna plant it here again. These are weeds, but parsley usually comes up on its own. It's pretty strong. Now, I covered this as much as I could with straw. So the ground is very soft, actually, which is perfect. So I'm going to sow these dill seeds right over here. Got my helper coming over to help. She seems very concerned. All right, here we go. These are a ton of seeds, but they are old. So I'm hoping that something germinates. Oh, that's good. I thought they will come out a little bit different, but okay. So I'm just gonna spread them around a little bit here. And again, the smaller the seed, the lighter that you want to cover it. Usually the math is that you want to cover the seed twice as much as it's thick. So dill seed is not thick at all. So some seeds you'll be able to still see through the ground, and that's totally fine. And I'm gonna just cover that up a little bit lightly with the straw. Perfect. So we got dill here in this corner. We got another dill there in that corner. Flowers over here. Radishes in this row. And I brought one more packet of seeds out here, which is this lettuce seeds. And I want to conduct the experiment again. If you remember, 2 years ago, there was a trial that I did. I started the seeds outside, straight out, and then I also started the seeds indoors, and I kind of compared them. Now, 2 years ago, the seeds that I started indoors, okay, that was an old tomato. Okay, we're almost done, guys. We can do this. We can do this. We got this. 2 years ago, when I started the seeds indoors, the lettuce did much better than what I started outside. However, it was like an off year with cold snaps and everything. And my soil was garbage. It was just not good. I did not amend it very good. So I want to try it again. I just ripped up my irises from this corner because they were just literally taking over this whole bed. And I actually put them over there in the woods, and they're actually growing. Do you see that little green patch? That's them. So maybe we'll have a patch of, are you kidding me? Agata, брод не брать. Okay, everybody, we've got to hurry up here or else we won't finish this. This is distracting. Okay, let's get this out of here. Now, in each bed, I actually, do you see? In each bed, I put some piles of chicken waste. And in this bed, I did not. I did it way back when, but not recently. Just a little side note, I guess. I don't know why I mentioned that. All right, so I'm going to make a trench. And again, lettuce seeds are super, super tiny. You do not need a big trench, and you do not need to cover them very well. And because my soil is a ton better than it was prior, you can see them right there. A ton better than it was before. It doesn't clay up top. I'm not too worried about these seeds being stunted. up top. So I'm gonna just lightly sprinkle like so, and just ever so slightly cover them up. And it rained today, actually, so I am not going to water any of my seeds. It's a rainy season, so I know these will be watered in. I don't want them to be washed away, which they won't be with this type of soil, but we'll watch how they grow. Now you'll be watching me gardening with my bestie over here and another bestie cooking. Yeah, there's a sister coming around. So I'm super excited about that, but I was itching to get my hands in the soil this year. Last year, this little girl, she was just born right during the garden season, so my garden was non-existent, and this year I missed it. I wanted to get back to it. But thank you guys so much for tuning back in. It has been a long winter. Very excited for this growing season, and I'll see you guys later. Go garden a little. Bye.